first question is from Realistic Pulse. Here's my dilemma. I started using Tinder during the summer and I've been off and on with it until now that I decided to stop using it. Girls like me now and then, but I don't know if I'm not interesting enough or if I don't have the looks. Honestly, it's been rough trying to get a girlfriend, and honestly, I think I'm going to be lonely for a long time. I'm not a bad looking guy and I'm pretty athletic, so I don't know what's going on. I feel like I'll never find a girlfriend, and during this quarantine, I've been feeling the most lonely possible. But I'll continue walking my nofap journey and keep working out. It is a lonely road, but I will walk it nonetheless. The first thing that I'll say is this. I see a lot of negative self-talk in there. You're telling yourself that, you're going to be lonely. This is a lonely path. And understand that just because, you need to take some time to work on yourself and focus on yourself, that doesn't mean that you're lonely. Okay, loneliness is not the same as focusing on you, taking that love and attention that you want to give to someone else and giving it to yourself. Okay, and receiving it from yourself as well. That's what self-love is all about. And you have to find that self-love before you can find an authentic connection with somebody else. Because how can you expect to find an authentic connection with someone else if you don't have an authentic connection with yourself first? I see a distinct lack of confidence. And, you seem like you're getting there, day by day, you're getting better and better. But you have to focus on, loving yourself throughout the process, not delaying that self-love. Because if you wait until you get a girlfriend to be satisfied with yourself, then you're never going to be satisfied. Also, another thing, this goes to everyone out there, delete Tinder. Okay, don't even bother with Tinder. Trust me, I've been there, done that. It is not worth it, in my opinion. You're only going to find a bunch of women who are broken and have a lot more options than they know what to do with. And it messes up the power dynamic because there's a lot more guys on there than there are women. And, you can have average women, and when I say average, that doesn't just mean looks, that also means personality-wise. But you can have average women who probably don't have that many guys, coming after them in their day-to-day life that have all types of options on Tinder. And that's why you probably see low interest from these women, okay? I understand where you're coming from. For me personally, when I used the dating apps, I would match with a lot of women and they were just so dry and they couldn't hold the conversation because they had too many people to keep up with and it was inflating their egos and, their self-importance was so high that they thought that I wasn't worth talking to or spending their time talking to. And, they obviously weren't obligated to talk to me just like they're not obligated to talk to you. But basically what I'm trying to say is that going on Tinder is setting yourself up for failure. And, you're wasting time on that app that could be spent working on yourself and attracting the right woman in a more organic way. So leave Tinder alone, continue focusing on yourself, do nofap, not even just nofap, but level up in all aspects of your life. And, focus on developing that confidence and self-love. Stop waiting until you find a relationship to feel abundant from within. Loneliness is from the lack mindset. You feel like you're lacking that companionship from outside of yourself. And, when you find a girl, the chances are you probably won't even have a real connection with her because you're just with her to curb your loneliness. And obviously that's not fair to her and it's not fair to you. So, focus on becoming happy being single. I always say this, be happy being single. And, you might say, oh, Jordan, you're in a relationship. It's easy for you to say that. But the receipts are all over my channel. I've been saying this since well before I even knew my girlfriend existed. The next question is from Yuliu. I don't think I said that right. But anyways, my dilemma. I had a girlfriend and we were texting and stuff and she says, I need to tell you something. And I'm like, okay. And she said to me that she kissed someone else. I'm gonna keep it real with you. Okay, let me go ahead and put the phone down. She belongs to the streets. Just off that one statement alone, she belongs to the streets. Now, I'm going to respect you and, read the rest of your dilemma because you took the time to type it out. But, she belongs to the streets. She is old news at this point. Obviously, that sucks that happened to you, but you got to leave her alone. Okay, I don't know what you're about to say, but you got to leave her alone. If you're debating about, if you should let her back into your life or whatever, let that go. Let that go immediately. She said to me that she kissed someone else, but she got peer pressured. I was a bit confused because she said she got peer pressured by her friends, so I was like, I don't know. So I overreacted by saying, why'd you do that? You ruined the relationship. So for context, my girl was not well mentally, and had wanted to kill herself before we got together. I thought that meant I helped her, so yeah. After I was saying, why'd you do that? You ruined the relationship. She said she was ready to die now. I said to her, do you realize how manipulative you're being? And then she said I was using her thoughts against her, which was a bit of. Then her friend called me and said I was being really rude and that it's fine because she was experimenting. But I couldn't really say anything because my mouth just stopped working. She broke up with me, and then the day later, she changed up the story. She said she was fine with kissing someone else, and the reason she thought it was fine was because we're 13, which didn't make sense. I think I did the right thing by overreacting, but I'm not sure. Okay, my man, look, I'm gonna keep it real with you. Wow, I didn't think it could get any worse than that, but yeah, that's terrible. Okay, first of all, you need to block her on every platform. She's extremely toxic and manipulative. And the fact that you're 13, see, I'm glad that I didn't date when I was your age because it came with a lot of drama. You know, things like this happen. And I'm not saying that, you shouldn't necessarily be mad about it. I don't think you overreacted at all. In fact, I think you handled that a lot better than most men would have handled it. Or I guess, you're more of a boy still, but you get the idea. Anyways, I think that, you handled that pretty maturely, and she needs to be removed from your life immediately. If you haven't already, this was a few months ago, but if you haven't removed her from your life, you need to go ahead and do that right now. And her friend just made it even worse. She said that she was experimenting. That's crazy to me. I don't know. That's absolutely insane. And like I said, I'm sorry you had to go through that. I wouldn't take that personally. Don't let that shape your perception of all women because all women are not like that. You got like one of the bottom of the barrel girls. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I don't mean to insult you and your choices, but look, man, you got a bad apple right there. But don't let that deter you from eating fruit for the rest of your life. Okay? There are some good girls out there that are gonna treat you a lot better than she did. I think that you should forgive her because forgiveness is important, not even for her, but for you and your mental health. But also, take some time from this because I know that, especially at a young age, this type of situation probably did a number on you, whether you know it or not, and it probably kind of changed your perceptions a little bit of women. So take some time to really work on yourself. The next dilemma is from Josh T. All right, so I'm 16 and I'm going to finish my school in 4 to 5 months, and I don't know what I want to do after. To be honest, I'm kind of lost in life, and I'm thinking it's because I have no purpose. I try to figure it out, but it's just really hard. I'm thinking about taking a gap year, but many people say it's not good. I kind of have a gut feeling of going to America for a few months so I can buy time and get to know myself better, but I don't know. So my main question is how to find your purpose and how to treat this gut feeling. Really, I can answer both of your questions at the same time. The way to find your purpose is to follow your gut. That's really what it comes down to. You have to follow your gut. You have to take a leap of faith. Okay, if you want to go to America, if you feel like for some reason your intuition is telling you to do that, even if it doesn't make sense, okay, financial sense, whatever. If it feels right to you, you need to do that. Okay, you're young. This is the time that you need to be taking chances on yourself to figure out more about who you are, and then your purpose will fall into your lap naturally. Okay, you can't find your purpose looking outside of you. You can only find your purpose looking within. And the way to do that is to follow your intuition, follow your gut, because your intuition can see things that your conscious mind cannot see. Okay, it can put pieces together of a puzzle that your conscious mind can't even comprehend. Another thing that you need to understand is that at 16, it is perfectly normal to feel lost in life. Okay, one of the biggest misconceptions I think is that, everyone has their life figured out, and this applies to any age group, but especially teenagers. I understand where you're coming from. I looked around and I thought that everyone had their stuff figured out. Turns out nobody has their stuff figured out, or maybe a very select few people have their stuff figured out. And the older you get, the more you realize that, people still don't have their stuff figured out, even at my age, even into their 30s and 40s and 50s. A lot of people just do things out of fear because, they're afraid of failure. They're afraid of poverty and things like that. But, you have to be willing to take that leap of faith on yourself if you want to experience the best that life has to offer. And the way to do that is to follow that gut instinct. Traveling is one of the best ways, especially traveling alone. Traveling is one of the best ways to grow and expand your horizons and really mature in a way that is conducive to life. You develop life knowledge. This is something that school cannot teach you. Now, obviously, people are not going to be on board with the gap year idea. They're projecting their fears onto you. Okay, they are scared of, taking that leap of faith on themselves. You can't listen to them. You have to listen to your intuition. Listen to yourself first. The next question is from Dark Lord. My dilemma. I'm 13 and I struggle with social anxiety. Not much though, but I also struggle talking to girls and my friends. The friends that I don't see very often, I just always feel awkward and weird. So because of that, I wanted to attempt nofap because I always regret nutting in the first place. And every time I relapse, I just can't give up. I don't know why, but is it okay for a 13-year-old to attempt nofap? Because I searched it up and the internet said that I shouldn't because by that age you haven't finished puberty and that it won't give me the benefits. I'm gonna just throw this out there. I didn't actually start, PMO until I was like 18 or 19. So at 13, I was doing nofap without even realizing that I was doing it. Now, I do think that nofap will affect you differently at that age versus if you're, 21 like me, just because, like they said, you're still going through puberty, you're still going through hormonal changes, and the effects probably won't be as pronounced. As a 13-year-old, I was still a very shy, socially awkward, and, insecure kid, even though I was doing nofap and retention at the time, before I even knew that those things existed. Okay, now, understand that when it comes to social anxiety, nofap, cold showers, these things can help indirectly, but at the end of the day, the only way to really get better at socializing is to go out and do it. Okay, if you want to get better at basketball, meditating, things like that might help you with your mindset, but at the end of the day, you still got to go to the gym and put up those jumpers. Okay, you still have to practice. You have to actively practice these things if you want to become better. It's okay to be scared when you're socializing with people. Okay, even to this day, sometimes, I second guess myself before I do that, but I still do it. Overcoming social anxiety is not about overcoming the fear. It's about not letting the fear stop you from doing what you need to do or doing what you want to do. If you want to talk to girls, I'm not going to sit here and tell you to not be scared to talk to girls. Okay, fear of rejection kind of lives within us in a sense, but you don't let that stop you from doing it anyways. And over time, that fear will dwindle away when you realize that, socializing really isn't as bad as you think it is.